Well, hey, B. It's Jamie. That's me here. Welcome back to the channel. Listen, I just want to talk to you guys real quickly about the recent allegations regarding Jay-Z. I haven't done much talking about it. We did get into it over on a Patreon. So if you guys would like to join the Patreon, make sure you guys come on over. Patreon, Jamie. That's me. We would love to have you over there. We get into some things, okay? But real quick, the Jay Z allegations, for a lot of people did not come as a surprise. People have been chanting Jay Z's name for quite some time this year after Diddy was wrapped up, with his situation. Okay, he did get arrested for sex trafficking and other things. Mr. Busby came out and accused him of some other things that take has taken place allegedly, that has taken place with minors as well as adults. He said he had about 120 individuals that were willing to come forward regarding the Diddy matter. Now, I do believe that there were some, or at least maybe one of Busby's cases where the person tried to proceed anonymously. And from my understanding, it was requested that that person revealed themselves and then the person decided to not move forward. Okay. But anywho, that's Diddy. The Jay-Z situation is a bit different. Okay. But not really too different. Okay. But so let's say this. Back in October, Busby dropped a lawsuit for Diddy, naming two individuals that were celebrities, celebrity A and B. I do believe he did not name exactly who those individuals were. He sent a demand letter over to Jay Z. And Jay Z did not like that he sent that demand letter. He saw it as though it was a letter of extortion. And he immediately decided to file a countersuit or file a suit against Mr. Busby under a pseudonym where he was not trying to reveal his actual identity. And Busby did not like that. So Busby decided to come to social media. And once he came to social media, he kind of already sounded the alarm to let people know that, hey, I tried to reach out to a particular celebrity. They're trying to silence me. So he came out sometime, I believe, in November or whatnot. And I wonder if that post is still up. Let's see. I feel like it might be still up. Let's see. Okay, I think it was about 3 weeks ago. Okay, let us check it out. I know you guys may have seen it all over the place, but we're gonna get into it over here. Okay, so he says I've been sued in Los Angeles in a last ditch attempt to stop me from revealing names in a public lawsuit. It won't work. The irony. Okay, the suit against me was filed by a powerful John Doe. Okay, he says here's my full statement. I won't allow the powerful and their high dollar lawyers to intimidate or silence sexual assault survivors. He says it has been reported that a lawsuit has been filed against my firm claiming extortion. The lawyers that filed it also immediately called TMZ in an apparent effort to silence those who allege SA. Okay, here is the deal. All right, he says the case filed against my firm is not only without legal merit, it is laughable. He says here is why. On behalf of two clients who allege SA, we sent a standard demand letter to New York law. To a New York lawyer that we know represents an alleged perpetrator and potential defendant. The letters were sent seeking a confidential mediation in lieu of filing a lawsuit. No amount of money was included in the demand letters. No threats were made. The demand letters sent are no different than the others routinely sent by lawyers across the country in all types of cases. It is obvious that the frivolous lawsuit filed against my firm is an aggressive attempt to intimidate and silence me and ultimately my clients. The effort is a gross miscalculation. I am a U.S. Marine. I won't be silenced or intimidated. Neither will my clients, since our professional efforts at resolution obviously have failed. We will instead disclose the demand letters we sent at the time we filed suit. Abuse of the legal system unfortunately runs rampant, and the lawsuit filed against my firm is a prime example of that. Sunlight is the best disinfectant. I have confidence that with the full public disclosure, all of this will sort itself out. Okay. What I take from this is that there may be two victims, according to Busby and what he's saying here. He sent over demand letters. Okay. Once those demand letters were sent over, and it sounds like he's speaking on two letters, two individuals, but one particular perpetrator. one powerful John Doe, and he sent those over to what I now would believe is Jay-Z. Okay, he sent it over to Jay-Z's attorneys, and Jay-Z did not like that at all. Once that suit came back to Busby, Busby was upset. He decided to refile this suit weeks later, and he added on Jay-Z's name. Now, keep in mind there is a celebrity B that they are labeling as Jane Doe. A lot of people have speculated on who that person is. Some people have said that it was Jennifer Lopez. Some people believe that it could potentially be Mary J. Blige. I'm not sure exactly who it is, but that person has yet to be named. Okay, it's getting very petty out here. Okay, it's getting very petty. Obviously, Mr. Busby did not like the way that Jay-Z filed that suit. Came back at him. He wasn't getting what he wanted with the demand letter, so he decided to, what? I'm gonna sock it to you anyway, because once your name is attached to this, things can get very bad for you. So it's really given, in my opinion, ego versus ego. And it seems like it's shifting away from it being about the victim or victims in said situation. Okay. Now, I am one that would think, hey, similar to what Jay-Z said in his statement, and we'll get into that. But if there was a true crime committed, then I would think that you would be able to file, criminal charges. But it appears that the statute of limitations in New York may only be for about 20 something years. I think maybe 24 or so, like that. Or maybe it was either 20 or 20 something. Either way, the statute of limitations, from my understanding, has indeed ran its course. It has ran out, and a criminal case cannot be brought up against him at this time, but a civil one can. But if I can be honest and say, I don't know. I feel like even though statute of limitations may exist, I feel like potentially special situations could result in one going to jail. Not really sure how it worked out when it came down to Cosby, and a lot of allegations came out about him drugging and violating women. He had to do time, from my understanding. So if he had to do time for things that took place way beyond the time frame in which it took place for Jay-Z, then I would think that you probably could potentially bring upon some type of criminal charges, especially if things were being alleged that it happened to a child, right? But, again, it could be different states. Maybe things happen in a different state with Cosby, and the statute of limitations may be much different in one state versus the other, okay? But, yeah, so that's where we are. So, okay, a lawsuit was filed originally against Diddy and two celebrities back in October. A demand letter or letters were sent over to Jay-Z in some point in October. November, Jay-Z decided to file suit against Busby for extortion or whatnot. And then come December, Busby decided to go ahead and refile the suit, adding Jay-Z's name, attaching him to this salaciousness, and it's about to be a media shit show completely. Jay-Z did not like that, so Jay-Z came to the front and he gave a statement that I'm sure you guys have heard, but we're gonna still get into it over here, okay? Another thing I want to say before we get into what Jay-Z had to say is, when it comes to demand letters, and I did have to look this up. I'm not an attorney, but I enjoy legal things, right? And a demand letter, in my opinion, is indeed extortion. I do believe that it is legal extortion. Okay. Busby is right. It's not any different than what a lot of people do when they send out demand letters. They're letting you know, hey, this is what my client is demanding because they are accusing you of said things. Okay. So if you don't want us to proceed with a lawsuit, then you might want to go ahead and get this resolved, right? Typically, from what it appears to me, is when demand letters are sent out and you guys are talking about meeting a resolve, it's likely attached to some type of financial compensation, right? So for a person that feels like they didn't do anything, they are going to be like, okay, you are extorting me. Now, a lot of people and a lot of attorneys may say, hey, that's not extortion. That's not what that is. We're just sending out a demand letter, girl. It's given a legal way to go about it. Okay. It's giving, in my opinion, a legal way of going about it. All right. But I wonder if at one point I did hear a content creator say, well, why wouldn't he take the mediation? And I was like, well, why would he if he feel like, he didn't commit a crime? That would be dumb to take the mediation. But the more I thought about it, I said, well, maybe he could have. Maybe he could have gotten in front of the alleged victim or something. I don't know. Who is this person that you speak of? What are they alleging that I did? Collect all information, not necessarily mediate. because with the demand letter comes a mediation where they would sit down, they would mediate the factor or whatever, and that typically is tied to a civil suit, and civil suits is likely tied to getting you some coinage, okay? So he could have still met them with the same energy of, I'm not giving y'all shit, but I just wanted to come and collect and see what information y'all got because we finna sue y'all. Or maybe that was a thought. Maybe he was thinking of like, I need to meet with these motherfuckers so we can see what the hell going on and figure this thing out so that I can make sure my name is clear because I'm not trying to have shit to do with this. And maybe the attorneys was like, hell no. Okay. So I know a lot of people are like, oh, he's extorting me. Jay-Z's talking about being extorted, but y'all also got to see his attorneys obviously agree with him because they're filing suit on behalf of extortion because they too themselves know that it is a demand letter. However, it is a legal extortion in a sense. At least that's what I would think, right? But again, we don't know. I honestly don't know if he committed these crimes or not. The Jay-Z we see today, I'm sure is not the same Jay-Z of the past. And I've never really been a fan. Sorry, y'all. Don't be mad at me, but I've never really been a fan of Jay Z. Never really got into his music like that. There were a few songs that may have been hit records that I gravitated to, but I've never really listened to any of his music. In all honesty, but I don't know if he committed these crimes or this crime or not. I do think that some things are very questionable. Okay, from the dialogue that's put into the case, into the suit as far as the young individual is concerned, some things are questionable. I know I have come to you guys from the very beginning with the Diddy situation, and I was very clear to say not excusing Diddy of anything because I do believe that he did a lot of the crimes that have been put out about him. But when I listened to a press conference, and I said this months ago when Busby mentioned him having 120 victims, I already told you guys that it didn't really sound too right to me because he also didn't necessarily vet these individuals to know if everything they're saying were actually true. There were things that he said in his press conference for me that did kind of contradict him in the things that he was saying. So I was like, some of this is not necessarily making sense, and it is giving that you are slick trying to strong arm people by saying, hey, this person is putting you at a scene at this date and time. And a lot of people may not think back and be like, oh, what was I doing at that time? Oh, maybe I was around. I don't know. Maybe to just not even have their names associated with this, they're going to be willing to pay money towards something that they may not have even been a part of or committed a crime or anything. Who knows? I don't. But I will say that he is not a saint to me, in my opinion, and neither is Jay-Z. Okay. So it's just going to be real funny. My whole point is to sit back really and just watch the whole mudslinging and see how this goes because Jay-Z's team has dug up some SHI on Busby that is a bit comical. Okay. It's like, we're on your tail. You think that you're going to sit up here and slander or say anything negative about our client, and we're not going to dig into you and get the tea out of you and your legal affiliates that you have down there in Texas that's over here with the BS with you that's in on it is crazy. Okay. It's been really interesting to watch. Social media has been in turmoil trying to choose a side. Some people are team Jay-Z. He would never do this. Some people are like, oh, you don't know who he is. He's been friends with R. Kelly and he's friends with Diddy. And if you've been friends with those people, you must have also committed those crimes because guilty by association and birds of a feather flock together. And listen, y'all entitled to feel however y'all want to feel, girl. And I'm not here to change anybody's mind nor convince them. I am here to say that for myself, girl, I am waiting on information. I stand on information, okay, until we find out exactly what the truth is because I don't know if he did this or not. I just know he's standing firm that he's not that guy. Okay, Jay-Z says, my lawyer received a blackmail attempt called a demand letter from a lawyer named Tony Busby. What he had calculated was the nature of these allegations and the public scrutiny would make me want to settle. No, sir. Mm-mm. And it had the opposite effect. It made me want to expose you for the fraud you are in a very public fashion. So, no, I will not give you not one red penny. These allegations are so heinous in nature that I implore you to file a criminal complaint, not a civil one. Okay, whomever would commit such a crime against a minor should be locked away. Would you not agree? Okay, he goes on, and let me say this. For attorneys that represent clients that have alleged SA, especially if they are minors, in my opinion, y'all need to work on in your states, if it's not already that case, to change the law to where people can be tried criminally. There should not be a statute if you feel that children were violated. Okay, if not, it can come off as a bit of a money grab at times. Okay, um but we shall see. We shall see exactly how this is going to play out. Some people from Texas say that, Tony Busby is a scam and a scumbag. All right, and then you have some people that believe that he is very reputable, he gets results and things, and they think he's a pretty good attorney. So girl, I don't know, it's all up for speculation at this point, but let's keep going. All right, Jay-Z says these alleged victims would deserve real justice if that were the case. He says this lawyer who I have done a bit of research on seems to have a pattern of these type of theatrics. Girl, now he done did research on you. He's been on your ass, okay? He says, I have no idea how you have come to be such a deplorable human, Mr. Busby, but I promise you, I have seen your kind many times over. I'm more than prepared to deal with your type. You claim to be a Marine. Marines are known for their valor. You have neither honor nor dignity. Okay? So Jay-Z brought up that. Like, I don't know why you needed to let us know that you were a U.S. Marine. Okay, but since you want to bring it up, then let us let you know that you have no honor nor dignity. Okay, he goes on to say, my only heartbreak is for my family. My wife and I will have to sit our children down, one of whom is at the age where her friends will surely see the press and ask questions about the nature of these claims and explain the cruelty and greed of people. I mourn yet another loss of innocence. Children should not have to endure such at their young age. It is unfair to have to try to understand inexplicable degrees of malice meant to destroy families and human spirit. My heart and support goes out to the true victims in the world who would have to watch how their life story is dressed in costume for profitability by this ambulance chaser in a cheap suit. Girl, this made me cackle because I thought about the movie with Jamie Foxx that was on Amazon Prime. Can't think of the exact name of it at the time, but this man was a ambulance chaser. He was, okay, he was definitely an ambulance chaser, going after people that have had accidents because he knew he could typically win in those cases. But then he kind of stumbled upon a corporate lawsuit in that case, and once he won that case over using similar tactics that he would use when it came to like being an ambulance chaser or whatnot type of attorney, then he started to go after a lot of corporations for any and everything, and that is how he became the big dog in that arena. Okay. Yeah, and it just, once he said that, I started thinking about Tony Busby, and I thought about when I went over to his IG page and he put $10 billion at the top of his Instagram page, and I'm like, oh man, I'm not saying you're a bad guy. I don't know you. You know what I'm saying? But I will say the work that's been done has been slightly sketchy, okay, from that one press conference that I did see. And I'm like, he could potentially be an ambulance chaser. He enjoys going after, the big dogs financially. Those demand letters, if you have any ounce of guilt, I can see where he can avoid potentially going to court, sending out demand letters, and likely getting people to just go ahead and pay to avoid all of the legal drama of it all. So interesting finesse. Anywho, so Jay-Z goes on to say, you have made a terrible error in judgment thinking that all celebrities are the same. I'm not from your world. I'm a young man who made it out of the project of Brooklyn. We don't play these type of games. We have very strict codes and honor. We protect children. You seem to exploit people for personal gain. Only your network of conspiracy theorists and fake psychics will believe the idiotic claims you have levied against me, that if not for the seriousness surrounding harm to kids, would be laughable. I look forward to showing you just how different I am. Okay, that was given a bit of a threat, Tiny. I'm showing you how different I am because, unlike these other people, I'm not going to just sit back and allow my attorney to give a statement on my behalf. I'm going to speak out, which is something, in my opinion, that's very different than what I've seen big celebrities, especially of his status, to do. Okay, it definitely struck me. I was a bit surprised that he would come out and even make a statement instead of allowing the attorneys to handle it. But if you do feel like things are just like so, out of order and the claims are not true on that level, I feel like you have a right to say something. Some people feel like, oh, this statement was emotional. Guys, if somebody is accusing you of something, it's gonna be emotional, okay? You gonna respond, all right? Drake was emotional as hell, and I definitely was dragging the hell out of him, okay? Because Drake decided that he was going to sue. It was emotional for him for Not Like Us to go where it went, okay? Um, but I feel like, hey, if you put some stuff out there about a person, they have every right to, come out and say what they're going to say, despite having an attorney. Now, at some point, I will say this, though. Let this be your only statement. Ain't nobody, now, if you keep coming down to the internet, honey, then we got, okay, you're going to have to chill on that part, okay? Now, Tony Busby, on the other hand, he has kept going back to his social media saying things. And now I just feel like that should be up to really him, the attorneys. Now that Jay-Z has given his statement, I feel like it should be up to y'all attorneys. We don't need y'all continuing to make statements. Tony Busby did come back out and he made a statement about him being a Marine. And him being a Marine, he says, recognize this guy? This is a picture of the weapons platoon commander, okay? He says, despite a coordinated aggressive effort that has included harassing my kids, contacting my clients and former clients to encourage them to sue me, contacting my colleagues or former employees asking if I've abused them, showing up at my current employees' home to harass them, filing frivolous cases against me and my law firm, defaming me with outrageous assertions to anyone who will listen, and having mysterious people follow me and my family, I'm still that guy. I won't be bullied or intimidated. People will see through this effort to discredit me and my clients, and the truth will be revealed. I also won't allow anyone to scare my clients into silence. Okay. So this is what Tony has to say. Listen, he also cut his comments off. I guess a lot of people were attacking him and he wasn't trying to hear what any of you guys had to say. So he cut off those comments. But at the same time, listen, it's just a messy situation. All right. I see how Tony feels that what he did was everything that was legal and right to send a demand letter over. I also can see why Jay-Z may feel like that's a bit of extortion, because you're trying to get me to mediate and get me to pay for something on a crime that I didn't even commit. So yeah, I'm gonna respond with a suit. And then for Tony to come back, with claims of harassment and things like that. Listen, I don't know if you guys are both harassing each other or what the hell is going on, but it seems like it could be potential protocol. When you are suing someone, you're going to want to vet the person that is a part of the lawsuit and find out as much information as possible. I understand why he may feel like his life, or he's being threatened, or people trying to dig up stuff on him, the same way he was trying to send that demand letter over to Jay-Z. Like, I understand both sides of this, okay? It's a lot of mess going on. I don't know who did what. All right, but we'll find out when all of the information comes out. I know Jay-Z's team is demanding that this suit be thrown completely out. All right, they're asking that this person reveal themselves. Typically, a person may not want to reveal themselves, and if they don't reveal themselves, then they'll drop the suit, or they just might reveal themselves and continue to move forward. I feel like if this person reveals themselves, and despite any social media backlash, if the claims end up not being true, I feel like they could potentially risk a lawsuit from Jay-Z for defamation of character potentially. So I feel like it's a lot of things that come with that if they are allowed to move forward with the said claims. I do kind of feel like this as well. I understand both sides of the individual not wanting to be revealed out of scrutiny potentially, but then I also feel like if you are now an adult and no longer a child, you should have to reveal yourself when you're being sued. And that's just the fairness in general, because if just a regular person, if somebody just decided to file suit against you anonymously, you would want to know who the hell that person is, period. And I was also watching a YouTuber's channel. Actually, she's an actual attorney. I'm not sure. It was two different ones. Um, I'm not sure if it was Pam that said it or if it was Simone that said it, but one of them was mentioning that it's very possible for that person to be revealed, where Jay-Z would be the only person that knows, as well as his attorneys, and not the general public would know exactly who the accuser is. Okay, so That's possible. So they could potentially escape some type of scrutiny from the public, but he still would know. That person still may feel threatened, like, their life could potentially still be threatened. And if they decide to not move forward with the suit, then it could get dropped. Now, it doesn't mean that what happened to them didn't happen. I don't know. There are a lot of questions surrounding um, the allegations that were put into that particular documentation. Okay. But anything is possible at the same time. Like, I really don't know. I'm just giving y'all my honest thoughts. And it's not to come down on the accuser, really. It's not really to come down on Jay Z. It's not really to come down on Tony Busby. It's just me giving my observation of the situation. And some stuff is just looking a little bit of everything is just a little funky wonky. Okay. So we'll have to wait and see what the information is really saying to see what's going on. But what I can tell you guys is that a lot of people were speculating about whether or not, Jay Z will be able to move forward with the NFL. And the NFL said they're standing firm. It appears they don't care anything about, well, it's not that they don't care about what's being said. It's just that these are merely allegations. A lot of times when allegations are put out there, people begin to immediately distance themselves from a said person, but I feel like the fact that Jay Z came out with that statement that a lot of people may feel is emotional, unprofessional, or whatever, I think him coming out with that statement may have made a lot of people feel like, wow, most of the time when these allegations come out, people don't give a statement like this, right? Through their company. So maybe, just maybe, this could potentially not be true, or even just seeing the fact that he's willing to put up a fight like this makes people think differently. And that could be what's going on with the NFL as to why they're like, we're not severing ties until you guys can present some true factual evidence and not merely hearsay of what your client said happened to them. It's one thing to say things happen to you, but you are gonna at some point gonna have to back that up with some type of facts, some type of information confirming that this indeed happened to you. Like, what do you have to provide, to say that this happened to you? But I do want you guys to just check this clip out really quickly. Let us get into this.
Allegations, and Jay-Z's really strong response to that. And we know that obviously the litigation's happening now, so, but from our standpoint, our relationship's not changing with them, including our preparations for the next Super Bowl. The first part of your question is how the relationship's evolving. I think they're getting incredibly comfortable with not just the Super Bowl, but other events that they've advised us on, helped us with. They've been helpful in the social justice area to us on many occasions. They've been great partners that have provided a lot of value for us. Allegations, and Jay-Z's.
All right, so you guys just heard what he had to say. They are not changing at this point. They're going to continue to keep the relationship intact, and we're all just going to have to see where everything falls. Okay, I know you guys are going to leave your thoughts and comments down below. A lot of people are going to have a lot of things to say, and I feel like you got a right to think and feel however you want to feel about this situation. I think that you got a right to reserve your opinion a bit and just want to wait and see what the evidence really says to see, is this true. The sad part about this is that I feel like the conversation shifts from the victims, of said assault. And it also is just going to make people question things moving forward. You know what I'm saying? It's just going to make people be like, how is this really real? Did this really happen to this person? You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I think that honestly, in my opinion, you should always really just not pick a side. Because I'm not one to automatically be like, oh, I'm team victim. I'm team victim. No, I'm not. I'm not gonna do that, and nobody's gonna force me to do that. I am going to sit back and see what the hell is really going on, because we've seen where some accusers have been liars, and we've seen where the perpetrators have lied too. So you just have to wait and see how things are going to play out. And I think that if you're on that side, that's perfectly okay. A lot of people are using theories of Sloan Bella to be actual factual, and he did it because of that, or things that Jaguar Wright has said, oh, because Jaguar Wright said it, it's actual factual. It could be, I don't know, girl. It could be, oh, he dated Beyonce when she was 16, 17, 18, 19. The line keeps moving. I don't know which age, okay? Um, I'm not sure. I thought she had a boyfriend up until she was at least 17, 18, but I don't know. Either way, there is a major age gap between the two. I think it's at least what 10, 12, 13 years, you know. Um but it's going to be a lot of speculation out there. So through all this speculation, a lot of that speculation not even going to make it to the courtroom, so it doesn't matter. But you just sit back and just look at the evidence, see how it's going to play out, and then make your decision then. Okay, but that's all I got for you guys. Go upset, get upset in the comments, feel away, have a great day, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.
King of my city and cul-de-sac. Coming out swinging like soldier rag. Leading my people like quarterback. Boy, I study this shit, I'm an almanac. Had to get up and grind. Knowledge is booming, I'm here to apply. Came with the chip and the dip, it just single the mind. We finna do more than survive. I need my check. Spinning the block for the Gouda. We hitting the jeweler, the flood out the net. We don't do beef for computers, I'm straight out the sewer. We come when you rest. Niggas be looking perplexed, so keeping my foot on their neck. No map, I trust my gut for the quest. With drama, I'm fully abreast. I was ready for years and they doubted me. All of a sudden they tell me they proud of me. I've been dropping these haters like calories. Cross them out, I came back with some boundaries. Stand for my honor, but too raw, no corner. Packing the stick with a drummer. When I catch my bad, won't fumble. I done came too far to be